the evangelical church have gotten themselves caught up in this war, this holy war. But they have entered into some spiritual territory that they should not be in, or they totally misunderstand. But I'm gonna tell you where this is spiritually. In the book of Daniel, there's a story about a ram and a goat. And the ram comes up and he's bouncing around, showing off. The goat comes up, it's a he goat, and the goat sees this ram and automatically hates this ram. So he runs into him, knocks him down, and stomps on him. And Daniel didn't understand this vision. It was a vision that Daniel had. He didn't understand it. So an angel was sent from heaven to explain this vision to Daniel. And the angel said, I heard your prayer. We heard your prayer. But on the way down, I got withstood by the prince of Persia. And he held me up for 21 days, so I couldn't get to you to answer. And then Michael the archangel came and withstood him to let me get past. So now I'm here to give you the answer. The ram you saw is the prince of Persia. The goat you saw is the prince of Grecia. Now, evangelical Christians know that Persia is a representation, Iran is a representation of Persia, all of the families of the Middle East, this Islamic religion. But they won't acknowledge that they are a representation of Grecia, the spirit of Grecia. Grecia turns out to be Greece. Greece birthed Rome, and Rome birthed Europe, and Europe birthed the United States of America. It says that there are 4 kingdoms that shall come out of the nation of Grecia. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and he shall be mighty in his power. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And this, I'm starting to wonder that the spirit of Grecia, which is European nations, is a symbol of the beast system. There is no Antichrist. Any preacher who talks about the Antichrist have not studied their Bible, because the Bible says that there are many Antichrists. What they're talking about is the beast, and it's a system built by a nation. So this person is going to stand up. This last kingdom is going to stand up. And it's, like I said, evangelicals will not acknowledge that they are Grecia, but they will acknowledge that Iran comes from Persia, and the families of the Middle East come from Persia. The evangelicals are definitely afraid of Iran and the Middle East. They're afraid of it. And they that's why they don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. They're afraid of them just like they're afraid of black people. That they don't want to give them any power or equality, because they're afraid that blacks going to do to them what they did to blacks. So evangelicals have been definitely afraid of Iran for years. To this day, they scream about Sharia law. They fearmonger their congregations. Sharia law is going to come. We need to stop the Middle East. They are so afraid, and they should be, because the spirit of Persia, the prince of Persia, and the prince of Grecia are 2 kingdoms in the last days that are going to pretty much create a lot of chaos and end up destroying the world. They both evil kings. Okay. Now, Jesus said in Matthew, He said, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then he shall sit upon the throne of glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on the left. The United States and Europe are goat nations. And the goat nation, he said that, for I was hungry and you gave me meat. He said this to the sheep nation. And I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous nation asking, when did we do this? And then he goes on to the goat nation. He said, all these things you did nothing for me. When I was a stranger, you didn't take me in. When I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was naked, you didn't clothe me. When I was sick, you didn't visit me. And when I was in prison, you didn't visit me. But these are countries that do nothing for their people. Okay, they are cruel nations, and they do nothing. This is how he's going to divide them up. But the United States, they know that Persia is a representation of the Middle Eastern kingdoms, but they won't acknowledge that they are Grecia, the European, Rome, Greek, United States kingdoms, because they are goat nations, and they don't want to be cast into hellfire when the Lord decides to judge the nations. So they fearmonger. They tell their congregations, they talk about Sharia law. They so deathly afraid of that. That's why this is why they don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, because they know, Iran may do something, maybe they won't. Black folk, if they get power, black people, we may do something or we may not. They don't know. They live in fear, watching their backs all the time, because they know that what they have done to this world is an abomination and they will be judged for it. So they lashing out. They want to attack Iran, and it's all based on this vision that Daniel had of the Prince of Persia. But like I said, the Prince of Persia is such an old ancient principality that it was able to withstand an angel from heaven and to stand off with Michael. So they don't know what they've gotten themselves into. They just don't understand. And they're getting worse and worse about it. And I'm really starting to believe that the beast system is being set up by the European nations, including the United States, and it's going up against the Prince of Persia, the family of the Islamic nations, and both of them are going to bring complete destruction to the world. Stay prayerful.